Welcome to another Cachorro video as we continue our Acolyte breakdowns. My most popular video is my recaps of episodes 1 and 2. I don't even know if I have 5 views. So I didn't make a separate video for 3, so we'll do 3 as well. Kind of want to stay around that whole backlash that was going on about episode 3. But I guess I'll weigh in. And I'll pick, we'll see where I'm going to tell you right now. I come in the middle road on that one. I don't think it was a good episode. I don't think it broke Star Wars or any of that stuff like that people are crying. Well, I think I gave the first 2 episodes like 7s, I think, maybe. I can't remember exactly. This episode did drop down. To me, was a 4. There was stuff there that could have been really good, but didn't. There was some just bad writing even for Star Wars. Something Star Wars. Star Wars is exactly like Shakespeare right now, but there was just some overall bad writing in it. So I'll give it a 4. The episode I just watched, episode 4, came back. There was not much in it. It's close to a 6. Close. I don't know if I fully give it the 6. I think it's better than it's like 5.5. So there's my breakdown. So bam, there's my rating. So now we're gonna dive in to talk about some stuff. So in episode 4, we are on Brendok 16 years ago. We meet the twin sisters, played by not exactly twin children actors, very similar looking actors, but yeah, sorry, just binged an episode twice in a row. So we're at a tree, and one of the girls is sitting there with this bird butterfly thing, and she uses the force on it for a moment to hold it in place. Then when she lets it go, then we see it stop again, and we realize her sister's meeting her there, and this is her sister's spot. We find out this is the tree that creates the poison that killed the guy in episode 2. Got to tie that back in, obviously, right? And this is where the sister goes to get away. And the May grabs the thing again, starts holding it again, and Oshi yells at her for doing so. And kind of learned that one of the kids doesn't want to. Is going against the grain. One of she kind of wants her own thing. She wants to be her own separate life, and we're going to play up on this theme a little bit through this episode. Obviously, is where the other one's like, oh yeah, we got to do we got to do the ascension tonight. Yeah, it's all about the ascension. They do this little poem thing, and then she initiates this little poem thing. They say, because this other one is all about togetherness, all about. We must, always be together and stuff like that. Then an adult female, I can't remember the name of that species. It's very weird because it's like I guess there's maybe it's supposed to be a species that's like Darth Maul. Because you always see like these aliens that are supposed to be like Darth Maul-ish, but Darth Maul is technically a Night brother. So the female Darth Maul species would look like a Night sister, hypothetically. So I think there's always been like kind of there'd be another species that kind of supposed to have that look to them. Meets and tell them it's not danger. It's dangerous out here. We got to get back in. You can't ship me wandering out here. And then we see Soul pop his hat out from behind a tree, like, yeah. So somehow this forest of tall trees where you could see a lot of the forest floor. So the forest floor itself was not obstructed. Like, it wasn't like bushes and everything everywhere you could hide, but easily hide. And this guy, he's just hiding like 20 feet away from behind a tree. So yeah, this is where some of the stuff is. There's just bad stuff in this episode, with theories and concepts of good stuff. So we go back to their Fortress of Solitude. This big old thing built into like a mountain kind of thing. And we get the infamous, everyone going crazy with the spice cream. It's totally going to be something being sold at Galaxy's Edge. I'll tell you that now. And the one mom say, no, you don't get spice cream. And the one chick is, they call her mother. Kind of, maybe, figure out exactly how that breaks down, because technically they might call them all mother, but it is closeness between these two. We'll find out. She's like, yeah, you're being bad, and then all of a sudden their other mother comes out. Oh, you let them have the spice cream. Like the good mom, the good parent, the bad parent. Oh, let them have it. My girls deserve the spice cream. Sure, go ahead. They were bad. I snuck out. Did I see them? No. We're good. Mentioned that they know that there's Jedi on the planet for some reason. And I did hear something stationed. Supposedly the Jedi were there for repairs to their spaceship, but in this episode we just watched, it mentioned that they were stationed there, so the Jedi were always there, maybe? I don't know. Sure, because it also mentions that this is like, they picked this planet for safety for their coven, so they're obviously witches. So they was like, oh, the Jedi aren't aware, they moved inland. So they talking, so was there supposed to be Jedi on this planet or not on this planet? It's not a Republic planet. We're going to find that out later as well. So why are they there? I don't know, but it's a coven of witches that are hiding out on the planet, which is cool. I mean, Light Sisters were awesome, and we saw in the Tales of the Empire there was a different race, a different thing of people that were not Light Sisters that are also on the planet. Go back and finish that. Never really finish that. So there we go to the little get-together thing. And the mom's doing this thing. There's one person go up to face her and pushes her back, and it's the power of one. And then she had two, and they held her in a little bit before she beats me. That's the power of two. Tonight you will see the power of many. Boy, we did not know what they were hinting at when they talked about this power of one and power of many thing before this happened. Look, they don't like me talking about it. They made me sneeze. Probably could. So they talk about what some people call it a force, and we know it's a thread. So their belief in the force is that the force is a thread, and everything's connected by these threads. I know people on the internet had a hissy fit about that. It makes sense. It does make sense that there would be different force users out there that would have different anticipation of force. We have seen this in Star Wars. The Night Sisters don't go around believing in the force. But they tap into some dark magic as well. In the time of Rogue One, most people no longer even recognize what the Force was anymore. And there's been other Force-using people that, that have different interpretations of the Force. Perfectly fine and cool concept. If you're going to have these witches that dabble are Force users, that they would have their own understanding of the Force. Because we would go back to the scene before that. where they're talking about they're concerned about the children. We do also find out, see that there's some attachment between the two mothers. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. A lot of people are whining. Why do lesbians? They're woke. If you have a group of women all living together, especially now throwing in the fact that they're witches, there's going to be lesbianism there, folks. You have a bunch of guys living together, nothing in a group of all guys, and there's never no females around. There's going to be gay stuff happening there, too. That's going to happen. I mean, it's witches. It makes sense for there to be lesbian women there. Have you ever met a Wiccan chick? Or, pagans? Chicks, that go to the Lilith Fair? How many of them are straight? So it perfectly fits what would happen. There would be female love attachments with other females in a coven of witches. What's kind of funny is people get all bent out of shape about that. But they have no problem with different aliens in relationships. Like the one isn't human. The same people that whine about this are the same people that would watch a Ahsoka hentai fan art stuff or Twilight porn on stuff like that. People have made the stuff like that. That's okay, but no, you can't have two women liking each other. Stop being babies. You're babies. It makes perfect sense for there to be a lesbian relationship in a coven of witches. There, boom. I said that part. It's over with. That's what you're taking. That's why you hate this episode. Then you're a bigot. And you should just move on. I mean, yes, this episode has flaws, but that was definitely not one. Now, one of my little political soapbox there. So yeah, we saw the meeting. So she's showing the power, and the two girls are kind of doing kid things where they're kind of fighting back and forth and pushing and shoving, and she has to interrupt them, blah, blah, blah. And pushes them to the ground with the force. Showing that they do fight. So, typical, like I said, the kids acting... I mean, possibly the writing, too. The kid actings weren't great, but newsflash for you, neither was Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd was not that good either. It was I don't know if it was, I wouldn't even say it was his fault. It's the writing. They wrote Jake Lloyd terribly. They're writing these two young girls terribly. I mean, the girl that played the young Princess Leia in Kenobi was great. She was just in it longer than she needed to be. So she kind of pushes them down. All of a sudden, there's this noise. And everybody's freaking out. And they said that the girls, go to your room. And the other mother, Carl, goes over and we see this generator thing, which I didn't really pay attention to this the first time I watched the episode. The second time I watched this one, I was like, oh yeah, there's something there. She goes look at their generator thing that runs, I guess, their place, and it's kind of, there's a little bit of sparking going on. There's just something, they hover over something on this generator for some reason. Then we cut to a scene with the two girls and their one mother in their bedroom talking. And the one's like, I don't want to do the ascension. Well, the one's kind of talking for her, and she goes, let her talk. So that, well written. That part was well written. That's how, when you have one kid always trying to overtalk the other one. The other one's like, I don't want to do the ascension. I don't know if I want to be a witch. And, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I won't let you not be one. And so we're starting to plant seeds also that you must be together all the time. And then the mother's trying to do the whole thing. Put your hands together. You love each other. You're together. You're supposed to be together. So they're kind of, the one sister and the coven and the witches are trying to always say that these two have to be connected together, where the one kind of does want to do her own thing. Yeah, I think we missed the part where one was drawn in the book, and oh yeah, that scene comes up. That scene's coming up actually. So they're still pushing this interconnected together stuff, and this also we get a line where people have expressed about the universe doesn't accept women like us, and I know people have been using that as their soapbox to complain about it. The next line refers to them being witches, dark witches. The universe doesn't accept the dark witches, is what the line is referring to. People keep liking to twist things. You don't like the episode. Don't like the episode. Stop trying to twist and put stupid shit where there's not stupid shit. She's referring to they're not accepted, or they're not widely accepted because of their witchcraft. Witches aren't accepted. That's why we drowned them in Salem. What else are we going to talk about? I think we cut right to the scene where they're getting ready for the thing and they're getting their hair done, and the one's like, I can't wait to eat all the Space Creams after the ceremony, and how many you think you're going to eat? She's all excited, and the other one's just kind of in or whatever. And she's drawing something, and the other one's like, well, what are you drawing? Let me see. And she, no, this is my stuff. I was like, I share all my stuff with you. Well, I want to have my own stuff. So once again, trying to show us like the whole, it's kind of like the whole, I guess you kind of get this with twins all the time. They're like dresses the twins in the same matching outfits and all this stuff's twin sharing versus individualism. The person wanting to be their own person. It's like, I want my things. I just want to be me. So we get more on showing it that. And from there we go to the infamous ceremony. Alright, so them doing their little dancing. Obviously, there's some kind of eclipse going on too, which is why they do these ascension ceremonies. Them doing their dance movements and doing a little cackling, and that's fine. That's very common in witchcraft kind of stuff. The paganisms and Wiccan even, all the way up to like the Scarlet Witch and fake witches kind of stuff, is they'll get together and they'll do their chant rituals and dancing and stuff like that. That's accepted part of witchcraft. What's bad is the chant that they did. The chant is so horrible. Which brings back from the stuff they kind of been saying throughout a little bit at the beginning, is the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Yes, that chant is terribly read. What's even worse is they didn't put overlap as going on. They actually made a song to go over this part with those lyrics, are the lyrics in the song as well. Wow. No, that was a fail. That chant was awful. So the one girl does the ascension, agrees to, do all that stuff. And then she's starting to do it with the other one. And the other one kind of hesitates before saying, yeah, I guess. But then they get interrupted. The Jedi are here. So they tell the girls to stay hidden and don't talk and hide them behind like some of the other people, and they all stand. A couple of them get ready with their bows, kind of reminiscent of Night Sister bows. So one thing I don't like is they didn't really do any energy stuff here. The Night Sisters, you could see their magic. The green lights and the green things floating around. These guys' kind of magic is not really noticeable. So they look like they just have regular bows and arrows. But they said, hey, don't fight them. We're not going to fight. Let them talk. So the Jedi make their appearance. They do their greetings. You see the girls are trying, and then Osha's trying to sneak around and get a better picture of her, better look at the Jedi so she can see with their robes and their lightsabers. She's fascinated by it. But they're going back and forth saying, oh, we don't mean to intrude, but we heard you're training children. And she was going to say something else, but gets cut off. Something probably like, "Hey, you guys aren't allowed to be training children in dark arts, stuff like this." Because there was something about when you mentioned people don't like their power because they consider it dark. Well, you're witches, and we find out what you did with your power. So yes, it's dark power. And some people might be looking more into that than they should. So the Wookiee spots the Wookiee Jedi spots one of the children, and they call out Osha. And Soul's talking to her, and he has her like, to bring out your sister too. The sister comes out now. She says she did the ascension. She now has a mark, the little circle with all the dots in it, which is kind of their marks that they get put on them. And they want to train, they want to test. The one girl, Osha says she does want to test to be a Jedi, and that's when, and then the mothers kind of step up against that, and then the Jedi kind of forces, hey, we have the right to test your children with your permission, of course. So pretty much like, oh yeah, but you got to give us permission, but yeah, we can do it. Mm-hmm. So the Jedi is kind of pushing their ways here. Obviously, saw them using some force. Must have saw them using a little bit of force magic on those bird things. So I would assume. I mean, I don't assume he just saw children and was his draw there. I'm assuming he had to see them use their powers. So, and the one mother, I can't remember their names at this point, kind of clouds the young Padawan Jedi's mind. His eyes turn black and he just falls into a trance. I think you definitely could have used a lot more, some more special effects there. Could have made that look a little cooler. Because, yeah, if you want your Jedi returned to his proper mind, then you all leave. So they're getting ready to fight and stuff like that. And they're calling the Jedi baby children snatchers. And then we have a scene where Saul gets his lightsaber out and hands it to Osha, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So uses that to get Osha to say she wants to take the test. So it's getting a little tense, but all of a sudden they're like, all right, everybody calm down. She wants to test. Fine. You can test. And they're like, oh, no, we want the other one to test too. Fine, you can test them both. Don't know why they're pushing for May so hard. So it was like they feel like they have to have both girls. So then we see the head mother having a meeting with her console, and they're talking about like we should kill the Jedi, and like if you kill the Jedi, we're going to have the Republic all over us. And then another one's like, well, it's a pass or fail. All they got to do is have them fail. So then we cut to a scene where the mother's trying to convince the two girls to lie and fail the test on purpose, even though one doesn't want to. And this is where I also get more the scenes of the other ones like, well, I will not let them take you. So the one daughter, May, is refusing to let themselves be separated. He's like, I will not allow them. Because my choice, I have the right to do what I want for. I want to be a Jedi. So they go to test them, and then we have a little scene where May's like, "Promise me you're going to lie." But then you go test May first, and the other one just wandering around goes up and says hi to the Wookiee. May steps back after testing, all big and proud of herself. And then Osha goes in, and they're doing first. They do remember they get some blood, so they're obviously doing the midichlorian check, since that's now the lore of Star Wars, which. People forget, everyone bitches about the Disney Star Wars stuff, but people forget that George Lucas introduces this midichlorian force bacteria is what gives Jedis their powers. And we all hated, and everyone hated that. And I still do. Still think that's stupid. So as they're doing the screen, they're putting things on the screen, she's guessing. And the first one she gets wrong, and Soul's like, correct. The next one she gets wrong again, and he goes, exactly, you got it correct. She goes, that's not what that is. He tricked her into revealing that she was lying. So he gives her a little speech on how he joined the Jedi when he was 4. So once again, that the Jedi like to get their kids young. And kind of like said, if you wanted to be a Jedi, then you got to tell the truth. So then she ends up passing the test. Her sister's now furious at her for lying to her. So then we get the scene. So then they go back, face the mother, and the mother, and one sister's getting irate and saying, "I will not let you. You will not leave. You're not going to leave." And they have to pour one. So then has to take her out of the room so that they have a chat. And she's like, the mom's like, "Well, we're going to meet on it. This is what you want. I will take that. We will take that into respect as we have our meeting." We don't know what that meeting does because we don't get to see what happens there. We do cut to the girl getting stuff ready to pack up and leave. The sister comes in and refuses to let her leave. Says, you can't leave. I won't let you. She's like, you can't stop me. He's like, well, then I'll kill you. Yes, some people feel like that escalated quickly. I mean, they have been planting seeds of her now, of the one sister refusing to let the other sister go. I just feel that was the way it was handled. The dialogue was kind of rough. But it did they were setting that up. So she locks her in her room. She grabs the notepad that she draws her Jedi picture. She drew a Jedi symbol on. Locks her in her room, starts it on fire, puts it on the door, and the fire starts spreading around the door. Yes, they live in a mountain. There's some wood stuff in the mountain. There's stuff that would catch fire, and the fire could, in the mountain. Plus, we don't know this planet's breakup. Rock on every planet is not the same type of rock. It could be flammable rock. Who knows? It's possible. First, also, Star Wars doesn't play by the rules of physics. It never has. We saw that in the episode where they were people were whining about there being a fire in space. Fire's always been in space in Star Wars. Things blow up in fire. The Death Star, the Millennium Falcon was outrunning fire in the Death Star, which has no atmosphere. Spaceships blow up in fire. Ships can make pinpoint turns in fire. Giant worms and whales live in space. So yes, there's always been a little aspect of science fiction here. So you gotta take this fiction with the science. That's how science fiction works. So what we know is the fire is spreading around the door. Osha opens up a grate in the wall and starts climbing through, and then we see a part where there's like a vent, and we hear people screaming and see looks like fire there too. And she finally works her way out to over this chasm where she's on one side and May's on the other, and the bridge is kind of broken in the middle. They face each other, and she's in there trying. May's saying, "Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead." And they're like, and we see, and then all of a sudden that big generator thing starts sparking and blows up. And then May falls, and Osha starts to fall, but Sol's there to catch her and save her. And as he's leading her out, you see the dead bodies of all the Coven witches, even to see the dead body of her mother. And then they get to the ship and take off, and he saves them. It's implied that this fire is what killed everybody, which didn't make a lot of sense because everybody was just gathered in a room together, so it was something had to kill them all at once. They weren't burnt to a crisp, so I don't know if they just didn't want to make it G-rated. But we know from the first episode the one guy drink poison to kill himself because of what happened on this planet. We're going to find one more. We kind of get a little more heads up in episode 4 here, but clearly everyone went on there, "There's no way this fire, they're saying this fire killed everybody." That's what the characters believe. There's no way that May's fire killed everyone. Something else clearly happened there, and then if you're an idiot if you haven't not realized that, if you didn't realize that after watching the episode. So yes, the YouTubers that whined about there's no way that fire could do all that. Because it didn't! You're a dumbass if you thought it did. Clearly something else happened. Did the Jedi kill him? Was there something else that happened? Like I said, we did have that scene where they hovered over this generator thing with alarm, where they were looking at it alarmingly. So if we saw the generator blow up, no way May's fire caused that generator to blow up. Just out of blue like that. So obviously there was something else happened here. Something that caused the Jedi more regret. We do get a tease of that there's definitely more in episode 4. So yeah, so that's where that episode ends. Said there's a lot of some cool concepts. People get mad about the lesbian stuff. Then you're just a bigot. I mean that makes perfectly sense for a coven of witches to have lesbian relationships, same-sex relationships. That's going to happen. Night Sisters probably had lesbianism too. Weren't they kind of like all love my sister kind of stuff? They're not actually. They weren't all just sisters, you know, actual blood sisters. So. Oh well, I guess I forgot to cover the part where the people, the part that everyone's jumping on is where we found out that one mother's like, I carried them, the other mother's like, well, I created them. So something she did is how she created life for the sisters, for the twins. And everyone's like, oh, they're cheaper than Anakin's thing. No, they're not. Anakin was Force Jesus. He was the child of the Force, created by the Force. It created him. The twins were created by the person using dark magic. Force, dark force energy, or however you want to see it. We don't even know how she did it, technically. We do know there's a line that says, and how would the Jedi do if they knew how you created them? So we don't get the actual details on what was done or how it was done. So there could be more to it than most people were thinking. But still, at the end of the day, she created the twins. The Force, by itself, created Anakin. That's different. Personally, I don't like either one. I didn't like Anakin's either. I thought Anakin being Force Jesus was stupid. Still don't think. I accepted it as we went on. Okay, yeah, whatever. He's the chosen one, the created by the Force. Kind of stupid story, prophecy stuff. Yeah, I still think that's stupid. Accepted it. So, I'm not a fan of that, period. Like I said, we don't know. There could be more to that story that people will get freaking out over. And these witches were able to use the dark energy just to do it. It's not. I don't find that to be that huge of a deal as others do. We're at 31 minutes. I haven't got the next episode yet. So yeah, the witches. I like the last of the witches. The one kind of when they revolt against the other. The Jedi kind of being painted in a little darker alley. Totally cool with that, because if you really look into the Jedi, you know that the Jedi were flawed. I mean, there are some people like to believe in the whole Jedi nothing but good. The Jedi did nothing wrong. The whole prequels are about the Jedi being conceited assholes who couldn't even tell there was a dark Force user living right next to them. Palpatine wasn't hiding. He was wide out in the open. And even if you think, okay, well, he's just special, Phantom Menace Darth Maul is on Coruscant at the beginning of that movie. So the Sith and his apprentice are both at the home on the same planet, right in the same city as the Jedi. Like, not even that far from the Jedi Temple. And the Jedi could not sense them. So the whole prequels are about the Jedi getting conceited and arrogant with their powers, that it was failing them. So the High Republic, would be the height of the Jedi Order. The Prime. Where they are believing they're untouchable. And yes, we know there's stories of the Jedi just coming and taking kids. If they have force abilities, they would just take the kids. That's been covered before. So yeah, the Jedi weren't so clean and cut, goody tissue guys. There's been bad Jedi. I'm perfectly cool with that being shown off here. But so there's like some cool things in this episode that could have been cool if done better. So the concepts, there was the concepts there for a really good episode. It just was executed poorly. So I give it a 4.